Tepe or Nagito, who would you rather beat to death with a bat? Tepe. Fuck this guy. See, Nagito is like a cartoon character, right? He's a little shit. He's like he is a Tom and Jerry-esque figure where he's a nuisance and I hate him. But Tepe is just a a realistic like abusive parental figure. Like that's a real archetype of person. So I hate him more. Sorry for starting the stream late, by the way, but I won't cut the stream short. We'll just go for maybe like start like what 15 minutes late, so we'll just stream an extra 15 minutes after midnight just to make sure we still hit same sort of time stamp length, whatever. Crazy how Ryukishi '07 woke up one day and made the worst game ever. I was looking at some stuff. I guess we got some new information recently. Where it is, we might be getting a uh new Obsidian Fallout game. May or may not be New Vegas 2. I lean towards probably not New Vegas 2, but some Fallout game being made by Obsidian. Because I guess there's just been some rumors about it that we'll be getting a Fallout game sooner than later. And Bethesda is too busy with Elder Scrolls 6 to be doing Fallout right now. Apparently, it was also old news, but we're getting a. I think I had heard word of it, but we're gonna, I think, in the next year or so, get a Fallout 3 remaster, similar to how we got Oblivion remastered, which is exciting. Obsidian has changed a lot from what I know, so it's honestly not that exciting to me. Well, I know the writer for one of the writers for New Vegas has come back recently. I haven't played enough Outer Worlds, but I've heard good things about some of its RPG mechanics that I think an Obsidian made Fallout game could be very cool. Especially because uh we're not gonna get Fallout 5 anytime soon. Like Bethesda is doing Elder Scrolls 6, which will probably be coming out either next year or 2027. I lean towards 2027 because Bethesda's thing, I think, is that they lean towards trying to do releases every uh 3 years. Starfield took longer, I guess, because of development issues. But I think that we've just seen game development times get longer, and so I think 4 years is more realistic. Um, they said we had to wait until Elder Scrolls 6 is done. Yeah, exactly. Because I think Phil Spencer wants to get a new Fallout game out, but Bethesda is too wrapped up with Elder Scrolls 6 because we're not gonna get a new Fallout game. Like, we're not gonna get Fallout 5 until minimum 3 years after Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, which I'm guessing is 2027. Because normally they like to do their 3 year dev times. I think it'll take a bit longer. I think it's more realistic to say 4, maybe even 5. But I'm gonna like Starfield was, but I'm gonna say 4 because I don't know. I think the problem with Starfield is they had like some development issues trying to upgrade the creation engine, which I think they should just move off of, but I get it's what all their devs are used to. Um, but there were some issues with Starfield of trying to upgrade the engine for that game that led to it taking so long. But now they have it upgraded, so they aren't going to have that same issue for Elder Scrolls 6. but bare minimum we'll have Fallout 5 like 3 years after Elder Scrolls 6 comes out. So we're looking 2030, 2031 for Fallout 5, which I think Xbox doesn't want to wait that long for a new Fallout game. So I think a Fallout spin-off made by another dev is plausible. And Obsidian just makes the most sense because they have Fallout experience. They've been working on Outer Worlds 2, but they just are finishing that up now. So like they'll be open to have to do a new project. I gotta play more Outer Worlds. I have Outer Worlds 1, but I just didn't play much of it because I guess I had other stuff going on. But I think if I came back to it, I'd probably get into it just because it's a RPG somewhat in the vein of like New Vegas. So I'd probably like it. I've been really digging the stuff I've heard about Outer Worlds 2, where they have a lot more little uh weird little quirks of the game for like make for more role-playing opportunities. Like you can give your character bad knees where when you stand up when like from crouching, your bones fucking make popping noises that can alert enemies. Like you can give your characters like weird flaws like that. I think that sounds really interesting for like just making fun, unique roleplay characters. I always dig it. Just more character customization is always a plus for me in an RPG, so I gotta play through Outer Worlds 1 since I already have that one. I've been playing a lot of Fallout 4 recently, so I'm in a big Fallout mood. I've been playing the hell out of Fallout 4 recently. What are my current hours on PC Fallout 4? It's not going to match my real hours because I played a lot on console, but I have Fallout up here in my favorites. No, where's Fallout 4? I've got 315 hours in PC Fallout 4, but a lot of those hours are recent, so. But I think an Obsidian made Fallout game is somewhat likely. I just want more Fallout. I don't want to wait till 2030 for a new Fallout game. I mean, time flies, right? 2020 feels like it was like 2 years ago and it's been five, so that time will fly, but still, I would love a new Fallout game. Of course, I say that. I'm sure Elder Scrolls 6, if it's good, will give me the sustenance to be able to wait for Fallout 5, but still. I'm very interested in like a Fallout 3 remaster because I played through Fallout 3 all the way in full. I had played it before, but I finally like played all the way through it uh a while ago. Yeah, back in June. I played all the way through the main quest. I didn't get to the DLC stuff. I need to go back and do that. But a Fallout 3 remaster interests me. I probably won't get it right away because of how recent the original Fallout 3 is in my mind, but also maybe that's a reason to check it out is I'll directly remember the difference so I can like pick apart what visually is different. I'm sure it'll be similar to the Oblivion remaster where the stuff under the hood is pretty much the same, it's just a visual upgrade. But like seeing Fallout 3 with like Oblivion remaster graphics sounds really exciting because Oblivion remastered looks really good. Um, Because I mean, I think there's been New Vegas and Fallout 3 like fan projects where people mod Fallout 4 to like try and recreate either the Capital Wasteland or the Mojave, but like Fallout 4 is like a decade old now, and Bethesda games aren't known for their great modern graphics anyway, so Fallout 4 looks older than a decade old, even though it's a decade old. So, uh those remakes of Fallout 3 and New Vegas in Fallout 4 just they look like Fallout 4, but like a Fallout game with Oblivion remastered graphics sounds crazy, right? So I'd be interested to see that. I want to see, you know, I want to see Megaton with Oblivion remastered graphics. I also learned somewhat recently that apparently um, Fallout 4 originally in development, it wasn't going to be in Boston, it was going to be New York, which sounds really cool. I would love a New York Fallout. Um, I don't think that's what a potential Obsidian Fallout would look like because Obsidian seemed to prefer doing West Coast Fallouts. Because I mean, they had people who did Fallout 1 and 2, which is obviously in California. They did New Vegas, which is set in Las Vegas. So, uh, I find it likely that, I mean, I don't know, maybe Xbox will say, you will put it on the West Coast or East Coast. But I find it likely that Obsidian would want to do more West Coast Fallout because that just seems to be their thing. But it'd be fun to get like a Midwest Fallout, like one more in the middle of the country, and not just directly on either the seaboards, right? Because the whole like center of the U.S. is unexplored in Fallout for the most part. I'm trying to think of where all the DLCs take us because I don't know all of the DLC expansions by heart, like where they are. Like I know we go pretty far north near Canada with Far Harbor because Far Harbor is in Maine, right off the coast of Maine. So that gets pretty close to Canada, but uh, I don't know where all the other Fallout DLCs take place. But Bethesda has pretty much confined themselves to doing uh, Fallout on like the eastern half of the U.S., right? I mean, because Fallout 3, Washington, D.C., Fallout 4 is Boston, or just general Massachusetts, I guess. And then Fallout 76 is in West Virginia, which is getting a little away from the coast, but still eastern like portion of the US, right? So central US could be cool. That's enough blabbering about Fallout. I've just been in a Fallout mindset. We got Higurashi to do. All right. We experienced child abuse last stream. I'm sure there will be more. Let's see here. Case 31. Did we view this? We viewed this, right? I mean, I'll just go in and see. Yeah, we saw this. This was like the child abuse report where they were like, oh, yeah, we'll send a coach. All right. Straight in then. I went home and watched the day sweat off in the shower. Normally, I could reset everything by taking a shower and forgetting all the bad things. But that didn't happen today. I got out of the shower to find fresh underwear placed neatly in the laundry basket. Normally, I didn't stop to think about it, but today I felt happy at my mother's consideration. At the same time, however, it made me realize how much Sadako must be suffering. The very moment I was appreciating this gentle kindness, Sadako might be being bruised by her uncle's cruel words. I went to the second floor and shut myself in my bedroom. Then, facing my desk, I folded my arms. My topic of thought, of course, was Sadako. We thought that if we could just get a public agency to intervene in the right way, the problem would be solved. But with what Coach said, I didn't think it'd be so easy. Sadako was obstinate. She'd stubbornly deny the abuse and try to endure it. That was an act of atonement towards Satoshi, who had protected her before and then run away. As long as she thought that way, the situation wouldn't be so simple. But earlier, before Coach, I made a clear declaration. If I thought Sadako was in danger, then I would do what I had to. In the end, that meant I was just going to wait and see, too. Nevertheless, I thought I had drawn a clearer line than Coach or my friends had. If the time came, I would report it. Over the phone. Given Sadako's personality, she might criticize me if she found out. But I believed it was ultimately the best decision. Wait, Keiichimabara. Would that really be all it took for the problem to end? Say that I reported it to a public agency like the Child Consultation Center. What if they stuck to their wait-and-see attitude like last year again? Last year they decided to do just that and the situation improved temporarily. But then their aunt, thinking herself a laughingstock, increased her tormenting in secret. In the end, things became more underhanded than ever before. This year it was her uncle. I had just seen him for the first time today, but the man seemed much more direct, much more violent than the word underhanded could imply. He wasn't like their aunt. No, not that subtle. He was more direct. Might also assault her with punches and kicks. If Keiichi played a Fallout game, I think he'd make some interesting choices. I know he'd be rocking the cannibal perk. That could easily be discerned from the bruises and such I saw in Sadako's body. Shit, you're too naive, Keiichimabara. However heroic it may seem to report what was happening, if it doesn't save her, then it doesn't mean anything. Reporting things to a public agency was only one option, and leaving everything to them would be dangerous. We need something more to guarantee Sadako's safety. I scratched madly at my head, thinking, then tilted it back, wanting at least a little bit of calm. The memories of angry arguing with my friends today came to mind. I was embarrassed that I hadn't realized it until Rena said something. She was right. My house is big. Compared to all the houses with the straw-thatched roofs in Himizawa, it was really big. We did actually have empty rooms. Never thought that we were affluent. Also never that we were poor. I just didn't admit it because people would think I was arrogant. But maybe my family really is wealthy. We had a few rooms we could lend to Sadako. The guest rooms are only in use when people related to my dad's job come and stay every once in a while. Plus, if we cleaned up a few of the rooms my dad uses for storage, they could work for her as well. As for food expenses, that might have been a more serious problem than a kid like me could imagine. Lunch every day would be manageable. All of our friends would just have to bring a little bit more for lunch than they usually did. With everyone pecking at everyone else's food anyway, it'd be manageable. Breakfast and dinner, though, that would have to be up to Mom. I would need to convince her to lend Sadako more than just a room. Of course, I don't even think convincing her of that would be easy. About how much did it cost for one person to eat? How many tens of thousands of yen per month? They couldn't complain about it if I shouldered that, could they? I only had 10 or 20,000 in savings, but it was something. I actually had even more thanks to New Year's gifts and such, but my parents had taken all that and put it into a fixed time deposit. If I could get access to that, it should add up to a lot of money. And if I got that far, you should ask Mion and Rena to share some of the burden. Of course, I wouldn't depend on that. Rena got mad at me, didn't she? About how I shouldn't just shove responsibility onto others. I'd have to ask for help. Even so, I'd basically be saving her myself. I would follow through on it. Oh, but it wouldn't be only food expenses. There were a lot of other things that you couldn't do without, like baths and laundry. My mother was awfully methodical and strict about cutting out inefficiencies. And for once, that was troublesome. She might even make reference to the money it would cost for the detergent Sadako would use for her own clothes. I couldn't think only about food expenses. I needed more money. Hey, wait, Kichimabara. Since when was all this about money? Even if you could afford it, you would need your parents' permission first. You'd be looking after a young girl for a really long time. What would I say to persuade them? Just calm down a little bit, Kichimabara, and you'll realize right away that you can't. Even if you ask them seriously, they would tell you to call the police. Even if you manage to gain their empathy, why should the Maibara family have to shoulder all of the burden by itself? That's what would happen. That was it. It was very sad and frustrating, but no matter how much I wanted to help, my resolution alone couldn't save anything.
そんなにも子供って無力なのかよ。
Kids, are they really this powerless? I felt frustrated. I believe my feelings were stronger than anyone else's. I even thought they were stronger than Coach's. And yet... At that point, there were 2 knocks to my door, and Mom poked her head inside.
起きてたの？
Were you awake?
さっきからご飯ってずっと呼んでるわよ。
I've been calling you for dinner for a while.
あ、うん。今行く。
Oh, yeah, I'm coming. As someone financially dependent on his parents, I shouldn't say this, but... I just sat around doing nothing, and food suddenly appeared. It felt so natural to me that I'd shamelessly thought of it as the responsibility of the parents who gave birth to me. When I realized that natural thing was actually a right, I came to realize just how hard it was to grant that privilege to others. Even the boring meal in front of me, no better than it ever was, had more meaning than that tonight. There was food for 3 on the table right now. For Dad, for Mom, for me. I couldn't imagine how hard it would be to add another place at the table. Think, Keishimabara. It was hard to make food for 4. Just think about how 4 people could eat food made for 3. Oh. I changed around the way I thought, and with that I began to consider an unthinkably bold plan. That's right. I didn't need to get my parents' permission. She should just live here in secret. I got upset when I found out a while ago. But if I remembered right, if you climbed out the window then shimmy down the first roof or the gutter, you could go in and out of the house directly from my room. Sadako's physical ability far surpassed my own, so it would be even easier for her. I hadn't even thought about it, but her living here secretly was actually a necessity. I'd only have to bring Sadako to my house when the public agency said they would wait and see. In other words, if Sadako's uncle continued to be her guardian. If, in such a situation, word got out that she was here, her uncle would barge in and drag Sadako back with him. Her uncle was her rightful guardian, So my parents would hand her over without an argument, no doubt. So, I needed to keep it a secret that she was living here. If it needs to be a secret, then having my parents' help would mean a lot, but gotta deceive your allies first, like they always say. Okay. Persuading my parents was an unrealistic proposition, so I'll search for a way to have her live here in secret. When I was around, she would just have to be really quiet in my room on the second floor. The issue was the daytime. If she was hiding from her uncle, then she shouldn't go to school. It might be lonely, but not going would be the better option. I could easily teach Sadako the stuff she learns in her grade. Actually, during school, I mostly help all the younger kids out rather than study my own stuff. During the day, I would need to go to school, so I wouldn't be at home. My parents respected my privacy now that I was this age, so they wouldn't go snooping around in my room while I was gone. I think. If she holed herself up in my room, it would be okay, right? He's thinking of every possible way to save her. This shit's so sad. This is a thing that happens, though. I know a story. I know my brother. He had a friend that had an abusive household, and his friend would come and hide out. I think, like, in her garage, I think. My parents didn't know. So this is something I've seen before. This is a thing that happens. My parents did come, thanks to where the second floor was. You could hear their approach from the sound of them coming up the stairs. There'd be a little bit of time before they got all the way up. I estimated a few seconds. They should be able to hide herself in the closet. Wait, Keiichi. Something doesn't make sense. She can't go to school, then what will she do for lunch? Calm down already. I could just leave her in my own lunch, couldn't I? I should just go to school without lunch and get everyone else to split theirs with me. Okay, that's good. No more contradictions or oversights, right? Oh, breakfast and dinner. I could somehow get her to go without breakfast. This is terrible. Oh. Okay. I can go with 2 meals a day when I sleep in on Sundays, after all. Every night, I'd pretend as though I had a bigger appetite and ask for a bigger helping. And then I could just somehow give part of that to Sadako. As a test. I stood up from my seat with my plate of fish in my hands.
どうしたのケイチ？
What's wrong, Keiichi?
ご飯は座って食べなさい。
Sit down and eat your food.
うん。
Well,
ちょっと気分が変えたくなってさ。
I'm kinda not in a good mood.
自分の部屋で食べてもいいかな。
Could I eat up in my room?
ボロボロ落として汚すぞ。
I'll make a mess.
食事は食卓で食べなさい。
Eat dinner at the dinner table.
うん。ごめん。
Sorry. Hey, wait. I only tried to take away 1 plate of fish, and they ganged up on me? In reality, it was impossible for me to smuggle food away without my parents knowing about it. But it must have been worth taking the time to think about. There must be some trick, some method to avoid them realizing. Even if I can't think of one today, I might think of one tomorrow. My appetite was rapidly fading, so I finished early and went back to my room. I went back there and tried to think about it from Sadako's point of view. For example, let's say my parents were coming up the stairs right now. Gotta hide. I open the closet. Clatter, clatter. It didn't open quietly. Hey, wait. Didn't it always open real smooth and quiet? Why was it suddenly doing this now? Was this house even structurally safe? Was it already showing signs of dilapidation? Or the hinges just not greased well enough? Could I just apply some lubricating wax? The sound itself may have been soft, but it left me uneasy as to whether my parents would detect it happening when they climbed the stairs. But this was an easy problem. I could do something about it. I just had to fix it up a little bit so it didn't make noise anymore. For now, I'll close myself in the closet as though I'd successfully hid. I basically always left my futon out on the floor. I couldn't think of any real reason my parents would want to go into my closet. Even so, there still might be some reason they would. I might need to construct some sort of camouflage so that she wouldn't be noticed even if they did open it. The more she worried about that, the less time she'd have to actually hide, meaning it would be more likely they'd hear a noise. And then, I suddenly had to go to the bathroom. The bathroom? The need to use the toilet. So obvious and yet such a fatal flaw. The only bathroom was on the first floor. It'd be absolutely impossible for her to use it without my family realizing. Might need to set up a portable toilet. Like a chamber pot, I guess. Sadako would hate it, so she could go in my room. But the stench would be pretty terrible. Anyone sensitive would probably notice the smell without even coming into the room. Bath was okay, though. She could just take a bath when my parents were out. I couldn't do anything about a toilet. When her stomach started to hurt, my parents were lazing around downstairs, she'd be in trouble. It was then that I noticed that I'd been clawing at my head with both hands. I sat down in the dark closet with my knees against my chest. I buried my face in them and tore at my hair. The more I thought, the more contradictions popped up. The more I thought, the more things failed. The more I worried, the more I was reminded of how little power I actually had. My back started to hurt from staying in a cramped place for so long. If I was to shelter Sadako, I would need to force her to feel this pain. To live in such a dark, narrow, suffocating place forever. It would still be better than being abused by her uncle, so I wanted to think. It got hard to breathe, so I gave in and crawled out of the closet. I looked at the clock, and to my surprise it was 3:30 in the morning. It had felt like so little time, but it was so unbelievably long. When I realized that, I was slammed with a terrible urge to sleep as if the time had only just caught up with me. I didn't have enough strength to fight it, and I fell flat onto my futon. Shit, I can't just go to sleep like this. If I waste any time, that'll mean I'm taking the same wait-and-see attitude that Mion and Coach and everyone else did. I needed to keep worrying about how to rescue Sadako for a minute, or even a second longer than everyone else. Isn't there a better way? Isn't there a better way? That one phrase I spoke to myself swirled around and around in a spiral and steadily took over my entire mind. For my last moment of consciousness, I thought. There were a lot of blind spots on what I'd considered tonight. I absolutely wasn't wrong for having those ideas. Tomorrow, I would suggest this bold plan to the others. Mion might be able to help somehow, and Rena was really sharp, so she might have a good suggestion. And above all, we needed to rescue Sadako once again, with everyone helping out. I felt pathetic for letting myself fall asleep. Sorry, Sadako. God, this poor kid. Because, like, what does he do? Really, the only way is if he could get his parents to pitch in, which, like, just isn't gonna happen, probably. The ceiling blurred into view. It was hot. There was a thin layer of moist sweat on me. The voice of the cicadas permeating my room were somewhat grating to my head.
あ、レ、
What?
今日、日曜日じゃないよな。
Today's not Sunday, is it? I remember today was a weekday and quickly brought myself to consciousness. And then, finally, I leapt out of bed. Clock read a little before 10. I was totally late. When I wandered downstairs, my mom would get mad at me. There was nothing I could do, though. After reviewing the schedule for the school day for a moment, I suitably rearranged the stuff in my bag. I hurried and got dressed, then went down the stairs. There was no sign of my parents anywhere. Maybe they went out somewhere together. So that's how it was. My mother had probably woken me up once this morning, but then I fell back asleep without remembering it. And my parents, thinking I'd gone to school, left. Something like that probably happened. I went to the front door, and as I expected, it was locked. Looked like I was right. It was further evidence of my speculation being correct. When I realized my parents weren't here, I suddenly felt less like I had to rush to get to school. There was one portion of breakfast left in the dining room. Probably mine. The milk they'd poured in it had gone warm since a while ago. When I realized how hard it would be to sneak food for Sadako, yesterday I had cried. Well, thinking back on it, food wasn't the only issue in that regard. I wasn't in a position where I could care for Sadako by myself anyway. It's such a heavy thing just to save a single person. I'd seen this on TV and in comics all the time. Those feel-good words about how you'll save your friends for sure and such. Was that why I ran my mouth like that, swearing to save her? Because I wanted to feel good about it? No, that absolutely wasn't true. Because the fact was I couldn't save her. Because I didn't want to think like an adult. I couldn't do anything but watch. Had Sadako gone to school today? I immediately realized that was a meaningless question. Whether or not she did, there wouldn't be a change in the environment she'd been placed in. If I couldn't save her and no one else could either, then we could only pray for a miracle.
俺たちは無力か。
Are we so powerless? With a vague goal of getting to school in mind, I sluggishly put on my shoes and stumbled out the front door. I only overslept by 2 or 3 hours, but the sunlight and air felt completely different from how they usually were in the morning. Well, of course they did. Once 10 o'clock came around, you could barely call it morning anymore. I didn't feel like walking the same old route to school. I needed to ultimately end up there, but it was like I didn't want to choose the shortest route, the most proactive one to get to school. Put it in a more positive light. Maybe I wanted some time to walk by myself and think. I had to go to school. Partly to make sure Sadako was safe. But I hadn't come up with any plans yet. Nothing since last night. So the path I took from my house was in the complete opposite direction. If I went this way, I'd pass Rena's house and the dam site. It would be quite a detour. I calculated how long of a detour it ended up being, then, satisfied with the answer, I started to walk. Rena had brought me to the dam site a few times. One section of it had turned into an unlawful, oversized garbage dump, and Rena really liked going fishing for junk in there. Without that, she'd come off as a completely normal girl, too. I could think of a few other qualities she could do without, but whatever. I'm glad I still think that she does, in fact, just go through the junk. It's just we don't see it after chapter 1, because, like, it's established. We've already seen it. The view quickly opened up wide, and I was hit by a strong wind. I miss Colonel Sanders. Me too! There's no shelter here at this big dam site. Maybe it was a good thing I came here, I thought. At the very least, it was more healthy to think about stuff in a place like this instead of my cramped bedroom. I took a deep breath and filled my lungs with the rich, cold air unique to Hinamizawa. Ring ring. I turned around reflexively. It was a bicycle bell. Considering where I was standing, I don't think they were trying to get me out of the way. They'd rang the bell because they wanted something from me. No! No, no, no! Oh no! It's you! Hey, excuse me.
君、ひなみ沢の人だよね。
You're from Hinamizawa, right?
そうですけど。
Yes, why? I've seen this person around a few times. Right, I remembered. His name, I think, was Tomatake, a freelance photographer who lived in Tokyo. He already knows him. Tomatake mode on! Yes! Oh, it's been a while, my friend. He already recognizes him. Curious. Game skipping over introductions, or Keiichi remembering stuff from previous chapters? Take your pick. He would zealously visit Hinamizawa every season to take pictures. Or so Mion and the others told me, I think.
フルデ神社ってここからどう行けばいいか教えてもらえないかい？
Could you tell me how to get to the Furude Shrine from here?
マップを宿に置いてきちゃったみたいでね。
I think I left my map at the inn.
困ってたんだよ。
I don't know where to go.
ここから神社ですか？
The shrine from here?
うーん。
I knew where everything was in my head, but explaining how to get there was difficult. I was a little irritated having been bothered for this, but when I realized it meant my detour actually meant something, that feeling faded quickly.
教えてもいいですけど、ちょっと口で説明するのは難しいですよ。
I'll tell you, but it's a little difficult to explain.
一緒でよければ連れて行ってあげますけど。
I could bring you there if you don't mind.
え？
Really?
それはかたじけないね。
I'd be in your debt.
助かるよ。
Thanks a lot.
あ、でも
I love this
いいのか
song.
ね？
You know, it's nice seeing him after all this depression. The thing is, though, is I can't look at Tomatake as anything other than like a ghost. This man's dead. This man, every time I see him, I'm like, that's a dead person. because he keeps clawing his throat out. But are you sure?
君の用事は
Did you have something to do? Toмотake-san finally appeared to have realized how strange it was for a student like me to be here at this time of day. I smoothly told him not to worry about it, then turned my back and started walking towards the Furude shrine. Toмотake-san hurried to turn his bike around and came after me.
ごめんごめん
Sorry, sorry.
気にしないでくれよ男には組織を離れて一匹狼になりたい時もあるんだからね
Don't worry. All guys have times when they need to split up from the pack and be lone wolves for a while. Yo! Yeah, I'm an alpha wolf. What a free-minded freelancer. I'd rather listen to him and his trad wife go off about ancient torture rituals than child abuse. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that. It was easier for me, too, that he was under that impression.
僕は富武
I'm Toмотake,
フリーカメラマンさ
freelance photographer.
専門は野鳥と風景
I specialize in wild birds and landscapes.
まだまだ無名だけどね
Still pretty unknown, though. It seemed absurd for him to introduce himself when I was just showing him to the shrine, but he gave me his name, so I needed to give mine back.
前原圭一です
I'm Maibara.
まあそうよろしく
Pleased to meet you, I guess.
圭一くんかい
Maibara-kun.
よろしくね
Pleased to meet you. He seemed like a pretty silly man, but that felt kinda good considering I'd been suffocating with worry over Sadako all night. Along the way, Tomitake-san spoke at length to me about how precious the nature in Hinamizawa was, and how it was a treasure trove of rare wild birds, despite my not having asked. How long do you think it will take Tomitake mode to go off this time around? See, that's the thing. I don't know if Tomitake mode will turn off. Because we keep getting hints that fucking Teppei and Sadako are going to be the victims this time around. And I don't know if that's going to happen or not, or if the pattern of Chapter 1 and 2 will hold. And Toмотake and Takano will continue to be the victims of Oyashiro-sama. Because is it a pattern that will repeat, or can it deviate? I don't know. So I don't know if I lean towards the loop being true, but also I don't know. I wasn't interested in what he had to say, but he seemed to be enjoying himself, so I left him to it.
この石段を上がれば神社の境内です
These steps will take you up to the shrine grounds.
ありがとう
Thank you.
助かったよ
You really helped me out.
ああちょっと遅刻しちゃったかな
I think I'm a little late. As Tomitake-san mumbled to himself, he left his bicycle nearby and started to climb the stairs quickly. I didn't have a watch, but as far as my internal clock could guess, it was still a little late in the morning. School wasn't very far from here. Maybe I could kill a little more time until then. With that in mind, I went up the steps in pursuit of Tomitake-san. When I reached the top of the long staircase, I arrived at the wide-open shrine grounds that were too grand-looking for this tiny village. Tomitake-san. Oh, there he is. It looked like he was supposed to be meeting someone here. Then he got lost and ended up being late. He was bowing to a lady who must have been the person he was meeting. There you are. That lady. I knew her.
あら、前原くんじゃない。
I do? Oh, is that you, my Barakun?
こんにちは。
Hello there.
今日は学校はお休みかしら？
Are you off from school today?
あれ
What?
なんだケイチ君ついてきたのかい
Oh, my Barakun, you followed me?
別にそんなつもりはないですよ
I wasn't really planning to.
ただちょっと時間つぶしがしたかっただけです
I just wanted to kill some time.
あらあら、
Oh my.
重役出勤とは優雅なものね。さすがは有名人。今から大物ぶりを発揮してること。
Arriving at work late like an executive. How refined. You certainly are famous, taking the time to look like a big shot. Spamton. Spam. You know her too, and she knows you. No, it's very strange, right? That we know her already, and she recognizes us. Very weird. Was I a celebrity? Well, she did say my name out of nowhere anyway. I was oddly concerned about what she meant by famous.
あら、私の名前はまだ思い出せない？
Oh, you still can't remember my name? My bad, sorry.
高野美代さんだよ。
This is Miya Takano-san.
村の診療所に勤めてる。
She works at the village clinic.
圭一君は健康そうだから、あまり病院のお世話にはならないかな。
Mabara-kun, you seem healthy, so you probably haven't been to the hospital much, have you? Yeah, I'm super. I go to the gym twice a day. I listen to funk while I lift weights. Have you ever heard of Sigma males?
せっかくお知り合いになれたんだから、今度病気か何かできたら、ちょっぴりだけサービスしてあげようかしらね。
Now that we're finally acquaintances, the next time you're sick or anything, I suppose I'll give you a little bit of special treatment. This lady named Takano-san. Kinda didn't remember her. Maybe we'd passed each other on the street a few times, but I was pretty sure this was the first time we talked. Well, this is Hinamizawa. Even if I don't know a person's name, it's not unusual for them to know mine. I glanced at Takano-san and saw she had a bag and a camera.
ひょっとして二人とも写真仲間ですか？
Are you photography partners?
あ、それで待ち合わせを。
Was that why you were meeting each other?
仲間でなんてとんでもない。
Oh, we're nothing like partners.
素人の私に、二郎さんが優しくてほどきをしてくださるだけなのよ。
I am but an amateur, and Jiro-san is gently initiating me into it.
ねえ。
Right?
あ、そんなことないよ。
That's not it at all.
高野さんは飲み込みが早いからね。僕の指導なんかなくても、実に自由に撮影をこなすよ。
Takano-san is a quick learner. She could take pictures just fine without my guidance.
本当さ。
I mean it. I dropped something. Okay, I got it. I couldn't tell which of them was ahead in the conversation. Now, they were certainly one couple you wouldn't get tired of watching.
いよいよあさってが綿流しね。
The festival's finally coming up the day after tomorrow. Oh no. Oh no. It's close, huh? Oh no.
今年はいい写真が撮れるといいんだけど。
I hope I can take some good pictures this year.
明日の設営シーンからレンズに収めるつもりだよ。
I plan on taking some shots of the setup tomorrow.
そういう準備風景からもお祭りの活力を捉えたいんだ。
I want to capture the festival energy shown by the preparations for it, too. Oh, I just remembered. There was some village festival called Watanagashi or something the day after tomorrow, on Sunday.
ひなみ沢の守り神、お社様に感謝するため、古い布団を積み重ねて供養する、そんなお祭りでしたっけ？
They hold a service with a pile of old futons in order to give thanks to Hinamizawa's guardian deity, Yoshiro-sama, I think.
あら、ご名答。
Oh, you're correct.
前原くん、引っ越してきたばかりにしては博識ね。
You've quite extensive knowledge despite just having moved here.
そう。お社様に感謝するためのお祭り。
Yes, it is a festival to give thanks to Oyashiro-sama. See, it's very weird, and it could be just the game trying to skip over introductions, you know, to not just repeat stuff over and over to you. But it is interesting how much stuff Keiichi just kind of like already knows when we start this chapter. Like he already knows Shion. He already knows these two. he's pretty familiar with like the Watanagashi already, even though I don't think it's been explained to him in this chapter that we've seen. So like that, it all makes me wonder, is it the game skipping over like is it the game just skipping, reintroducing stuff so that the chapters aren't repetitive? Or is it, you know, I mean, it is serving that purpose, but is it also a narrative thing of, oh, Keiichi remembers stuff from previous chapters, right? Like, I have to wonder if that's an element. Because I'm also still thrown off from when he was like, oh, yeah, I have a baseball bat, when, like, he got invited to the baseball game. I mean, he didn't know it was a baseball game, but they were like, we're in a fight, and he's like, oh, I have a baseball bat, let me go get it. And, like, Keiichi, as far as we know, doesn't have one. But he said he did, and then like he went to go look for it, and he didn't have one. He couldn't find it. Uh, I think at least, or was it just that like they didn't know where it was, and they do have one? I don't remember what the dialogue said, but I think it was just that like they were like, oh yeah, we have a golf club. But, like I don't think they had a baseball bat, so it's very weird to me. But we'll see. Takano-san smiled somehow meaningfully, but it didn't tell me what part of a festival to think Oshiro-sama needed to be laughed at.
やれやれ。高野さんは。
Cryptic as ever, Takano-san.
でも、どうだろうね、今年は。
But I do wonder what will happen this year.
二度あることは三度ある。
You know what they say. If it happens twice, it'll happen a third time. That's an interesting line of dialogue.
そしてもう四度あったのよ。
It's already happened 4 times.
五度目がないと言える方が何の根拠もないと思うけれど。
I think there's less evidence that it won't happen a 5th time, don't you think? I knew what they meant by their whispered exchange. On the day of Watanagashi, a freak death always occurs, which people call Oyashiro-sama's curse, and a disappearance occurs that people call being demoned away. These strange events had happened 4 years running, and Watanagashi, rapidly approaching the day after tomorrow, marked the 5th.
村の旧敵にたたりをなすお社様か。
Oyashiro-sama puts a curse on enemies of the village, eh?
今年もあるとして、果たしてその矛を受けるのは誰になるだろうね。
It does happen this year. I wonder who will find themselves at gunpoint.
あ、僕はここに来るたびにちゃんとお参りしてお賽銭を入れてる。
Oh, and I always come here to pray and donate money whenever I visit.
僕じゃないことは確かだよ。
It won't be me for sure. I don't know, dog.
あらそう。
Oh, is that so?
近年のお社様は異邦人には特に厳しいって話よ。
They say that Oyashiro-sama has been especially harsh on outsiders recently, you know.
引っ越してきたばかりとはいえ、前原くんはちゃんとひなみ沢に住んでる村人だけど。
My Barakun may have only just moved in, but he's a proper member of Hinamizawa.
次郎さんは毎年来るだけのただのよそ者。
But you, Jiro-san, are a stranger who only comes once a year.
さーて、今年は見逃してもらえるかしら。
I wonder, will he let you go this year?
ひどいな。
That's harsh. Tomotage-san was the only one with a pained grin, but we all were smiling, me included. Oyashiro-sama, the one who used a curse to kill people involved with the dam construction project, one after the next. He killed the dam construction manager, killed Sadako's parents for supporting it, and the next year he even killed her aunt. If the demoning away was part of the curse, then you could add Satoshi to the list of victims. As I thought about it, I realized that in the serial freak death incidents, the overwhelming majority had the last name Hojo. half of the deaths and disappearances had come from the Hojo family. The Hojo family lived here in Hinamizawa. Does that mean Oyashiro-sama punished and cursed them particularly harshly because despite that, they'd been in favor of the dam?
聡子の叔父が帰ってきたって話は聞いてますか？
Have you heard the news that Sadako's uncle has returned? Takano-san, who had been enjoying a few words with Tomitake-san, was caught unaware by my sudden inquiry.
あ、ごめんなさ
Oh, I'm sorry.
い。今なんて？
What was that?
あ、いえ、聡子の両親がたたり殺されて、叔母もたたり殺されて。
Sadako's parents were killed by the curse, and her aunt too.
だったら順番的には次は叔父の番かなって思ったんです。
So I was wondering if, maybe if she went in order, her uncle would be next.
去年のたたりで叔母が無残な死に方をし、それに恐れをなして町に逃げていたやつですよ。
Her aunt had a miserable death from the curse last year, and her uncle let his fear take over and fled into town, right?
お社様は確か村を捨てて逃げ出そうとするのは許さなかったですよね。
Are you sure someone doesn't allow people to try and abandon the village, does he? I hadn't intended to be quite this persistent. No, this is a bit of wishful thinking from from Keiichi here. He wants Sadako's uncle to get fucking Oyashiro-sama'd. But those words, they just flowed out of my mouth without me thinking about it. Right. Oyashiro-sama's curse. I didn't believe in something so unrealistic, of course. But the fact was that every year, unfortunate accidents and incidents happened to enemies of the village. Like Takano-san said just now, it had happened 4 times. No one could say there wouldn't be a 5th.
ふーん。面白い説ね。
That's an interesting suggestion.
確かに過去の犠牲者を見れば北条姓が多いのは事実。
It is true that if you look at those sacrificed in previous years, those named Hojo come up quite frequently.
その延長として考えれば、今年は叔父が死ぬか消えるかする可能性は否めないわね。
Given how long it's gone on for, her uncle being the one to die or disappear this year isn't out of the question.
もう高野さんは
And again, Takano-san,
起こるかもしれない不幸を笑うのは良くないよ。
don't laugh about it. It could really happen.
ごめんなさいね。
I'm sorry.
でも、お社様のたたりは私のライフワークだし。
But Oyashiro-sama's curse is my life's work. Takano-san gave off a mysterious, somehow intellectual impression, and her life's work was mysterious in its own right. She probably really liked inexplicable supernatural phenomena or something.
高野さんはお社様のたたりに詳しそうですね。
Takano-san, it seemed like you know a lot about Oyashiro-sama.
どうでしょ
Give me your honest thoughts.
う。北条の帰ってきた叔父がたたりに遭う可能性は。
Given that he's a Hojo and that he's returned, what are the chances that the uncle will fall into the curse?
あら何？
My, what?
そのおじさんを殺したくて仕方がないみたいね。
You seem like you really want this uncle of hers dead. Well, you know,
そんなんじゃないです。
that's not...
どうだろうね。
I wonder.
神様の気まぐれ次第だからね。
It all depends on the whims of God.
前原くん、
My Barakun,
サンタクロースの正体は知ってる？
do you know the true identity of Santa Claus? Yeah, Kris Kringle, duh. Huh? I got a strange question all of a sudden, and I couldn't immediately answer.
なに？
New
知
CG.
らないの？
Well, I guess I'll take that. What, you don't know?
パパよ。
It's your daddy.
みんなの
My
夢の
daddy?
パパ。
The daddy's in everyone's family.
なんだ、
What?
そういう意味ですか。
That's what you meant?
そりゃそうですよ。
Well, of course.
どんなものの正体だって最終的には人間です。
Everything ultimately comes down to humans in the end.
だってここは人間しかいない世界なんですから。
After all, humans are the only ones living in the world. Well,
全ての現象は人間で解明できるはずです。
all strange things should be explained in terms of human actions. I felt like I put that somewhat strangely. Takano-san was not as dissatisfied with that reply as I might have guessed. What's the story? We're figuring it out.
あら、その年齢のうちからそれに気づけるなんてなかなかね。
Oh,
その通りよ。
she wasn't done talking. Oh, it's impressive that you caught on to that at such a young age. You're right.
人間の世で起こる現象は、すべて人間の都合で人間が起こす。
Strange things that happen in the world of man are all caused by man for his own benefit.
では前原くん、もう一度尋ねるわよ。
Abara-kun, I'll ask you again then.
今度はサンタクロースじゃなくて、お社様。
This time, not Santa Claus, but Oyashiro-sama.
お社様のたたりの正体は何かわかるかしら？
Do you know anything about who Oyashiro-sama is? I wish. Takano-san took a step towards me and gazed into my eyes as she asked. Santa Claus was really the parents of every family's children. If lionizing that legend was a corporate tactic to try and profit during Christmas sales, then what was Oyashiro-sama really?
と、
Hmm.
あら、あなたが言ったのよ。
Oh, didn't you already say?
ここは人間しかいない世界だって。
There are only humans in this world.
すべての現象は人間で解明できるって。
Everything can be explained by human actions, right?
圭一君、
My Bara-kun.
ここだけの話だよ。
Keep this to yourself, okay?
高野さんはね、お社様のたたりをめぐる一連の連続開始事件をね、
This string of freak death incidents attributed to Oyashiro-sama's curse.
ひなみ沢の村人が何かの儀式に基づいて行っている人為的殺人事件でないかと見ているんだよ。
Takano-san's view is that they might be premeditated homicides performed by the people of Hinamizawa and based on some kind of ceremony.
誤解しないでね。
You didn't do the giggle? I'm not gonna do the giggle. You can't make me.
私はそれに至る教義や思想、文化を民族学的見地から研究することがライフワークなの。
My life's work is to research teachings, thoughts, and cultures from the viewpoint of folklorism.
別に犯人が誰かなんてことには全く興味がないのよ。
I don't really care at all about who the culprit really is.
そこだけ勘違いしないでちょうだいね。
Just keep that in mind, please. I could tell only that she was saying some crazy stuff. To use a food analogy, like you'd force feed a duck to be fattened, she forced her words down my throat. That's what it felt like.
そもそもそれを理解するためには、ひなみ沢村が鬼ヶ淵村と呼ばれていた古代にまで遡らなければならない。
To understand that in the first place, you have to go all the way back to ancient times, when Hinamizawa was called Onigafuchi, or the Demon's Abyss.
鬼と血を交わらせたと信じる半人半鬼の仙人たちが。
The Transcendents who lived there believed themselves to carry the blood of demons, and so were only half human. Takano-san, having entered her home field, leaned forward and began to speak of ridiculous matters. Tomitaki-san realized she was overawing me and interrupted for me.
高野さん、高野さん、
Takano-san, Takano-san,
その話をいきなり圭一君にしても、
you can't just chatter on about that stuff to my Bara-kun.
ほら、彼も面食らってるよ。
Look, he's really confused.
あら、そう？
Oh my, are you?
続きに興味があったらいつでも言ってね。
If you want to hear more, ask me anytime.
前原くんくらいの年頃の男の子が好きそうな猟奇的なお話がてんこ盛りなんだから。
I have heaps of the grotesque stories that boys your age seem to love hearing.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you.
気が向いたらそのうちに。
If I feel like it, I will. For now, I softly and safely gave my refusal. Takano-san seemed a little unhappy that Tomitake-san had rained on our parade, but she stopped talking about it then. Even so, it was still a very interesting story. That Oyashiro-sama's curse, which we thought of as strange freak deaths, was really homicides. Perpetrated by people of the village. What is the genre? Of the game? Well, so far it is. Got a bit of horror in there. You're showing up at a good time, because I think we're about to get into some of that stuff. To give you a bit of a rundown, we're on Chapter 3 of the game. In the previous chapters, we seem to be in a bit of a time loop. We died in the first chapter, presumed died at the end of the second chapter, and now we're back for a third round in Chapter 3. There seems to be a curse in the town, and we seem to be maybe cursed ourselves in some way. I'm not sure.
まあその常識的に考えればそうですよね。
Well, I mean, if you thought about it logically, it would have to be.
たたりなんかで人が死ぬはずない。
People wouldn't be dying because of a curse.
誰かがたたりになぞらえて殺してるに決まってます。
It's a whole can of hellish worms? Yeah. Cool, thank you. No problem. Someone's obviously killing people and making it look like one.
そうね。
Indeed. Hold on, my alarm just went off. Okay, there we go.
それが誰なのかは研究しない方が無難ね。
As for who that is, it might be safer not to try and find out.
高野さんは知ってそうですね。
You seem like you know Takano-san.
証拠はないまでも確信を持っているくらいには。
I don't want to say any spoilers, but aren't you supposed to be dying? Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll die at the end of this chapter. Oh, the med pill alarm? Exactly. I just took my medicine. May not have proof, but you seem like you believe it.
あら、どうしてそう思うのかしら。
Oh my, why do you think that? I just kind of felt it vaguely. It didn't seem like her extreme passion for this research would calm down just because things were taboo or because it was safer and easier. This person loved walking through the profound forbidden abyss of risks and taboos.
それくらいにしなよ、ケイイチ君。
Let's leave it at that, Keiichi-kun.
せっかく助けてあげたのに、またお社様のたたりの話が始まっちゃうよ。
I just helped you escape, and now you're trying to talk about Oyashiro-sama again.
涼しいうちに散策に行きたかったのにな。
I wanted to take a nice walk while it was still cool. Tomitake-san seemed a little disappointed not to be able to go on the date he'd planned since I brought up a weird topic. Right now, there was something I wanted to ask just for a little bit. And that was about whether Sadako's uncle would be chosen for the curse this year. If he was, then another miracle would happen just like last year. A terrible incident would happen again, but it would release Sadako from her unfortunate circumstances once more.
まあ
Well,
もちろんおそらくあの辺りの人たちが関わってるんだろうなっていう憶測は持ってるわよ。
I do have a few suspicions as to the kind of people who would probably become involved, of course.
鬼ヶ淵村の歴史を研究していれば自然と至る必然的結末。
It's a natural, inevitable conclusion for anyone who's researched the history of Onigafuchi village.
それは誰です？
Who do you mean? What would I do if I knew? I asked that question to the other me deep inside, but got no reply.
熱心ね。
How enthusiastic.
それを知ってどうするつもりかしら。
What would you do if you knew?
別に。
Nothing really.
知ったらあなたにも危険が降りかかるかもしれないわよ。
If you found out, you might get into danger yourself, you know.
5年目のたたりはあなただったりして。
Maybe the 5th year's curse will be you. Maybe. I don't know. Nothing bad's ever happened to me before. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. Takano-san, toying with Taboo, gave a devilish, satisfied smile, as though nothing in the world would be more amusing. She was probably trying to tease me, but I didn't feel like going along with her little game one bit.
偉そうな能書きでもったいぶってますが、高野さんだってよくは分かってないみたいじゃないですか。
Can you speak in a girl voice for Takano? I cannot modify my voice for that. This stream would get unwatchable very quickly. Yeah, I cannot modulate my voice. This voice box has one setting. You like to talk pretty big. Well, you don't really know yourself, do you, Takano-san? I felt a tinge of irritation at Takano-san's roundabout way of speaking. But those emotions escaped my mouth, like water flowing through a strainer. Even I was surprised at how directly I'd spoken out about what I felt. Of course, I wasn't the only one taken aback.
あら、
Oh my,
言ってくれるわね。
you're something.
坊やなのに挑発までできるの？
You may be just a boy, but you can still provoke people.
意外に野生的ね。
How unexpectedly rugged.
嫌いじゃないわよ、そういうの。
I don't dislike people like that, you know. Takano-san's tongue poked out of her mouth, and I was convinced that it was long, thin, and split in the middle like a snake's. I'm sorry to upset you. I don't know. Look, I can't modify my voice. I can certainly try, but I don't know how to elevate my voice to a higher pitch. I've never done voice training. I don't know. I just realized, do I not have my name tag on the stream?
教えてあげてもよくってよ。
Hear the little femininity? Maybe I subconsciously changed my voice a bit. Alright, I'll tell you then. Just trying to... Streamlabs, I have my tag turned off. Normally I have my name tag on screen, but I guess I've had it off this whole time. Ah, we've had it off. I'll just keep it off.
でも、教えてあげる前に3つ誓ってもらうわ。
But you have to promise me 3 things first.
私が何を教えても後悔しない。
1. Not to regret it no matter what I tell you.
口外しない。
2. Not to tell it to anyone.
私が言ったなんて絶対言わない。
3. Not to tell anyone I told you. I gulped firmly and nodded. Toмотake-san made an exaggerated expression of distress, gave a dry, vague smile, and lit a cigarette.
教えてください。
Please tell me,
たたりを下しているのは誰です？
who's putting this curse on people?
たたる相手を選んでいるのは誰なんです？
Who is it? Who's deciding who gets cursed? And after I said that, I finally realized why I wanted to know. Commercial break? What other VNs have you played? Oh, not many. Wow, we're just skipping right over? We don't get to hear Takano's speculation? Uh, I've played the three Danganronpa games. I've played all of the Ace Attorney games except for the two Investigations games. I haven't played Investigations. I'm trying to think of what other visual novels I've played. Look at my Steam library. I really haven't played many. Well, I've played. Depends what you count as a visual novel. Uh, some of them get a little too interactive. I think Ace Attorney still counts though. That shit's mostly visual novel. You get some gameplay in the courtroom, but that shit's a visual novel in my book. I've really not played that many though. It's probably it. This is the most visual novel I've ever played. Like where it's directly reading, no gameplay. Yeah, seems so. I'm looking through my I'm looking through my Steam library. I don't play a whole lot of them. I am an RPG person, so it's a lot of my that's a lot of my library. That being said, there's a lot of RPGs I haven't played that I do need to get to. Chrono Trigger one of these days. Many of my classmates are playing freely in the schoolyard. Few of them had just run out of the school building after putting on their shoes and tapping their toes to the ground. What made you want to play this? My friend told me to. He is in chat, that's Bone Jam. He's been watching. He asked me to play this because he played all the way through it, and he asked me a lot to stream it, and I was like, okay, fine. It's not normally the sort of thing I would stream, but I will. It's also going to be easily the longest series I've ever done, because this game is long as hell. We're only on chapter 3. Yes, hello, Bone Gem. We're only on chapter 3, and there are 8 chapters, so we have a lot of game left. But we're getting there. I took a bit of a long break from streaming a bit ago, so it's taken a bit longer for that reason. Because I took a couple months off. I was busy with school. It looked like they had just finished eating lunch. From a time manipulating standpoint, I guess I succeeded. Oh, my Baya-san. Are you okay? A few girls noticed me and came running over. It was only natural they were worried. Damn, hope you enjoy the game. Yes, me too. I mean, it's also, it can at times become a very depressing game. Last stream was very, very depressing. Because our poor in-game friend Sadako is living in an abusive household, and we explored that a lot last stream. So that was a very depressing stream. We've had less of that this time, but that's why our boy Keiichi here that we're playing as has been hoping her uncle dies from the curse, is because that guy is an abusive piece of shit. You'd think if someone wasn't there in the morning, they'd be out the rest of the day.
まあその遅刻さ
Well, I'm just late for school.
気にしないでくれ
Don't worry about it.
それよりサトコはどうだ
Anyway, what about Sadako?
今日は来てるか
Did she come today? The girls exchanged glances. I saw a thin shadow fall over their faces and knew the answer without needing to hear them reply. Sadako was absent today too. When all was said and done, after being out 3 days, she'd only come back for 1. And now she was out again. Who knew if she would come back tomorrow? Yeah.
さとこちゃんから電話があったって先生言ってました。
But the teacher said she got a phone call from Sadako-chan.
風邪って言ってたよね。
She said she had a cold.
みんな家に帰ったらうがいをちゃんとしましょうって先生言ってました。
Chi-sensei said everyone should make sure to rinse their mouths out really well. Wait a minute, Chi-sensei. That's a little too thick-headed, don't you think? You're a teacher, aren't you? Why can't you be more sensitive and catch on to the fact that your pupil is sending out an SOS? But even if she did, there's nothing we could hope for. The most she could do was a home visitation. She didn't have any right to take Sadako from her uncle into safety. No matter the result, it would end up just like the public agencies, with a wait-and-see attitude. It would just piss Sadako's uncle off, and her suffering would only grow deeper. I wasn't saying she had a cold the best option.
そうだな。
She's right.
みんなも風邪に気をつけろよ。
Careful not to catch a cold, got it?
もう行っていいぜ。
You can go now.
昼休みはまだ長いぞ。
There's still plenty of time left in lunch break. The girls excitedly scattered into the courtyard.
ケイチくん。
Oh, Keiichi-kun! Rena was yelling out the classroom window, waving her hand. A moment later, Mion and Rika-chan poked their heads out too.
ケイチまでお休みしましたから、とても心配しましたのですよ。
We were very worried that even you would be absent today.
でもよかった。
Thank goodness.
顔色もそんなに悪くないし、とりあえず元気そう。
You don't seem sick. You look pretty okay. I felt a little uncomfortable with her saying that I didn't look sick, but I didn't care that much.
どうしたの？
What happened?
寝坊？
Overslept?
遅刻は遅刻だろ。
Yes, yes, I have an accent. Get off of me. Well, late is late.
それとも電車の事故で遅刻したとでも言えば許してくれるのか？
Think if I said I was late because of a train accident, she'd let it slide?
寝坊？
You overslept? Mian was being a bit persistent. She's going to put on her club president cap and scold me for being late? Well, maybe she didn't have it in for me, so I briefly say that she was right.
まだね、お弁当あるよ。
There's still more bento.
みんなで食べよ
Everyone eat up.
う。やっぱりね、ケイチくんがいないと盛り上がらないよね。
Without Keiichi-kun here, we couldn't have any fun.
さとこは休みなんだな。
Sadako is still absent, huh? Who's your fave girl? Well, unfortunately, my favorite is Sadako. And I mean this as like, she's my favorite character. But she's, not here. Because she's currently being kept at home by her terrible uncle. But she's not here. But she's my favorite character. Even Rena, feigning cheerfulness, couldn't stand to hear that, and her face darkened. I do also quite like Mion, though, because she's funny.
朝、電話があったらしいよ。
She called this morning.
風がぶり返したから、また休むってさ。
Apparently she said her cold came back and she was staying home again.
長引くかもしれないって言ってた。
She said it might go on for a while, too.
かわいそうなので、みんなでお見舞いに行こうという話が出ていますのですよ。
She must be sad, so we're all talking about going to visit.
何言ってんだよ、リカちゃん。
What are you saying, Rika-chan? Not pleased with Rika-chan wearing a wide smile as though it was a happy occasion, I threw cold water on her.
さとこが風邪なんかじゃないことは俺たちが一番知ってるだろ。
We know best of all she doesn't have a cold, don't we?
たとえ冗談でも二度とそういう白々しいことを言うな。
Don't ever tell a fib like that again, even as a joke.
次は怒るからな。
I'll get mad next time. Rika-chan furrowed her brow, looked down, and mumbled an apology.
圭一くんだけじゃないよ。
It's not just you, Keiichi-kun.
みんな辛いよ。
It's hard for everyone.
俺だけが悩んでるなんて思ってない。
I know I'm not the only one worrying,
でもみんな何もできないのは本当だろ。
but none of us can do anything either, can we?
それはそうだけど。
That's true, but
でも
but I got the feeling I would cause another fight if this exchange went on. So I apologized first.
ごめん、
Sorry.
謝るから今の話は忘れてくれ。
I'm sorry, so forget about what I just said.
辛いのはみんなも同じだよな。
It's hard for everyone, right?
あ
It must be. It was at least clear, however, that I was the only one who had worried so much about rescuing her. At the very least, everyone else probably got the normal amount of sleep last night. Probably had good dreams, too. They definitely hadn't stayed up all night thinking so desperately.
投稿してきていきなりこんなこと聞いて気を悪くするかもしれないけど、
I know it might not be what you want to hear right after you get to school,
ケイちゃん今日遅刻したよね。
but you were late today, Kei-chan.
さとこが今日欠席したこととは関係ある？
Did it have anything to do with Sadako being absent?
は
Huh?
ミオン、お前何の話してるんだ？
Mion, what are you talking about?
ケイちゃんはたまにちょっとつ盲信なところがあるからね。
Sometimes you act kind of foolhardy, Kei-chan.
今朝さとこと一緒にケイちゃんも休んだ時、
When both you and her were absent this morning,
さとこを家から連れ出してどこかにかくまったんじゃないかって本気で思った。
we seriously thought you might have kidnapped her and hidden her somewhere. Well, he was kind of thinking of it earlier. Easy for you to say. If I could have, I'd have done that last night. None of them had really thought of how difficult that clear as day solution was. I was up thinking all night, thinking until the night was brightening. And then I concluded that I couldn't do anything of the sort.
バカかお前。
Don't be dumb.
人間一人かくまうなんてできるもんかよ。
I couldn't hide someone.
そうだね。
You're right.
ごめん。
I'm sorry.
気を悪くしたなら謝るよ。
I apologize if I upset you.
別にいいよ。
Don't worry about it.
それより飯にしようぜ。
Anyway, let's eat some food.
腹が減ってんだ。
I'm starving. I took my bento box out of my bag. Everyone moved to make a spot for me to sit.
前原くん、
My Barakun,
今来たんですか？
did you just get here? And just as I was about to stick my chopsticks in, Chi-sensei came along.
あ、はい。
Yeah.
遅刻してすみません。
Sorry for being late.
寝坊しまして。
I overslept.
うん。
What the heck? Even the teacher was giving me that strange look.
お弁当を食べたら、委員長と前原くんは職員室に来てください。
When you're finished eating, could you and the president come to the teacher's lounge? Am I in trouble?
ちょっとお話がありますので。
There's something I want to talk about. Oh no, I'm in trouble. Probably about Sadako, I thought. Sensei left it at that and went back out into the hallway.
弁当を食うまでもないだろ
Eating lunch can wait.
う。行こうぜ、ミオン。
Let's go, Mion.
そうだね。
You're right. Mion and I exchanged looks, nodded to each other, and got up.
さとこちゃんの話だろうね。
It's probably about Sadako-chan. No doubt about it. They were saying she had a cold, but everyone else in class knew the truth. I didn't think that wouldn't have reached the teacher's ears by now.
僕がずっととぼけるので、僕に聞くのをやめたのでしょう。
I kept playing dumb, so I think she gave up asking me. Revealing the truth to the teacher would only worsen the situation. Was that why she hadn't said anything? Or was it because she was Sadako's friend and knew that she was trying to endure trial of her uncle's abuse in order to get her brother to come home?
どうする？
What should we do?
今のうちに私たちなりの統一見解を出した方がいいかもね。
Maybe we should use this chance to get a collective opinion.
リカちゃんはどうしたい？
What do you want to do, Rika-chan?
み
She's hitting the meep again. Sadako's closest and best friend was Rika-chan. However much I pretended to be your Nini, it didn't come close to the amount of time they'd spent together. So I felt like her opinion should be held in the highest regard.
俺は聡子がどうしておじにいじめられてるのを耐えてるか知ってる。
I know why Sadako's enduring her uncle's torture. Everyone looked startled and turned to me.
昔の聡子はいじめられるときっと泣きながら兄の背中に隠れてた。
Back then, whenever Sadako was abused, she probably cried and hid behind her brother.
でも結局そのせいで兄が逃げてしまったんだと
But Sadako thinks that, in the end,
聡子は思ってる。
that's why her brother ran away.
誰に聞いたのかな？
Who did you hear that from?
監督か。
Coach, I bet. I nodded quietly.
聡子はおじのいじめに耐えれば兄が帰ってくると信じることによって今を耐え抜こうとしてるのかもしれない。
Sadako believes her brother will come back if she can withstand the abuse. Maybe that's why she's trying to push through.
でもそんな思い込みとサトシが帰ってくるのは全く無関係なことだ。
But that assumption has nothing to do with Satoshi coming back.
聡子には悪いがそれが現実だ。
It hurts to say that about Sadako, but it's the truth. Everyone hung their heads. Everyone was thinking the same thing.
聡子は多分誰の助けも喜ばない。
Sadako probably won't be happy no matter who helps her.
自分一人の力で耐え忍びたいと思ってる。
She wants to withstand everything with her own strength.
でもそれを尊重してやるのが果たして正しいだろうか。
But is it really right to respect that?
俺は思わない。
I don't think it is.
一時聡子に恨まれることになろうと聡子の意志に関わらず助けるべき時があると思う。
Even if Sadako hates us for a while, I think there will come a time when we need to save her against her will.
俺はそれが今じゃないかと思ってる。
And I think that time might be now. I told them all about what I saw and how I felt when I went to Sadako's house yesterday.
圭一君は話すべきだと思ってるってことだね。
Keiichi-kun, so you think we should tell someone?
もちろん公的機関への通報で聡子が保護されるのが確定してからだ。
Of course, only after we're sure that reporting it to a public agency will guarantee your safety.
その確認のないうちは聡子をかえって危険にさらすこともあり得るからな。
Without being sure of that, it could just get more dangerous for her instead.
難しいね。
It's a difficult problem.
先生との会話の中でその確約ってのが取れるわけ？
You think we can get a definite promise out of the teacher? I had no confidence. I'm assuming when you say, can you play the anime horror game, you mean anime horse game. You're talking about Uma Musume? I've seen a lot of people playing it. I know that there's the anime, and now they made a game out of it, and now apparently everyone is playing it. Which is a phenomena I did not expect, because I knew about that horse girl anime, and I was like, huh, that's weird. They make an anime about anything these days. And then I just kind of like moved on, and then all of a sudden there's a game for it, and now everyone is playing the game for it. Maybe I'll check it out. I'll check it out, because literally everyone is playing it right now. So I'm a little curious. I'm like, what can possibly be... What about this anime horse girl game is like, are people like latching onto? It can't be that good. It's just gotta be the novelty of like horse racing, but it's anime girls is drawing people in. I had no confidence, but we had to try. Meanwhile, Rika-chan had her hand raised for a while, as if asking for an opportunity to speak.
圭一に任せますです。
I will leave it to Keiichi.
いいのかいリカちゃん。
What? Is that okay, Rika-chan?
圭一はここにいる誰よりも聡子のことを考えていますです。
Keiichi is thinking about Sadako more than anyone else here.
その圭一が話すべき時だと判断したなら、僕は文句なんか言わないのですよ。
If Keiichi thinks that we need to tell someone, then I have no complaints.
ありがとう。ミオもレナもそれでいいか？
Thanks. Mion, Rena, are you okay with that? Mion seemed to hesitate, not knowing if she should agree. But when she saw Rena's firm nod, she made up her mind and did the same.
よし、
Okay,
行くぞ、ミオ。
let's go, Mion. Right. Only Chi-sensei was in the teacher's lounge. We didn't see the principal anywhere. The schedule on the blackboard under the principal's name said training, going straight home. Our principal's sense of justice was too strong. Sadako's problems wouldn't be solved with something so vague. Maybe it was a stroke of good luck that he wasn't here. When the teacher saw Mion and I come in, she closed up her curry bento, saving the rest for later.
そこへおかけなさい。
Sit over there, please. She told us to take a seat in the chairs directly in front of the principal's seat. I hadn't sat in this chair since doing the paperwork for transferring in. Two of us sat there uncomfortably before the teacher walked over carrying a notebook and a ballpoint pen and sat in front of us.
前原くん、今日は午前中お休みでしたけど、何かありましたか？
My Barakun, you were absent this morning. Did something happen?
すみません、寝坊です。
I'm sorry, I overslept.
本当に？
Really?
先生に嘘言っても。
I have no reason to lie. She narrowed her eyes at me in suspicion. Now I was sure of it. She wanted to talk about Sadako.
まず、二人とも知ってると思いますけど、お友達の北条さんがここしばらくお休みしてますね。
In any case, I think you two already know, but your friend Hojo-san has been awake frequently lately. Neither Mion nor I had anything to say in response. But the teacher proceeded, not minding.
何か知っていますか？
Would you happen to know anything?
クラスで良くない噂をしている人たちがいます。
There's some people in class spreading bad rumors. Mion looked down and remained silent, as though she were being lectured. She sent me a quick glance. Everyone had made up their minds. They'd be leaving things to me.
委員長、
Mion-kun?
前原くんも、
Or you, my Bara-kun?
先生は別に怒ってるんじゃありませんよ。
I won't get mad or anything, okay?
もしも知っていたら、教えてほしいとお願いしているだけです。
If you know something, I just want you to tell me.
先生、
Sensei,
先にこっちから質問してもいいですか？
can we ask you a question first? She must not have anticipated that response. She looked surprised.
クラス中で聡子のどんな噂が飛び交ってるかは知りませんが、
I don't know what rumors are going around about Sadako in class.
仮にその噂が真実だったとして、先生はどうするつもりですか？
What if those rumors happen to be true? What would you do, Sensei?
どうするもこうするも、
Well, what would I do?
その話が本当なら放っておけません。
If it's true, then I can't leave it alone.
放っておけないって、具体的にはどう放っておけないんですか？
Can't leave what alone exactly? What would you do? Sensei's eyebrows shot up. Maybe I said it like I was trying to pick a fight.
前原くん、
My Barakun.
先生は真面目にお話ししてるんですよ。
I'm being serious here.
先生こそ
So am I.
俺はすごく真面目な話をしているんです。
I'm also being completely serious right now.
まず答えてください。
Please answer me.
真実だったとしてどう放っておけないんです？
Does she has an abusive uncle? Yeah. Because he's a bit, They had called, Sadako herself had called, we know she had once called, like, the police about it once, about a year ago in game. And nothing really came of it. So, her uncle is a bit, he keeps it mostly hidden so he doesn't get in trouble. So it's just kind of like rumors. But like we know because we've seen it. Please answer me. If it were true, why wouldn't you leave alone? Sensei took a few breaths, then began to speak slowly.
まず
First,
状況を確かめるために北条さんの家を家庭訪問します。
I'd have to visit Hojo-san's house to confirm the situation.
おじに怒鳴りつけられて追い返されるかもしれませんね。
Her uncle might get mad and drive you away, though.
まあいいや。
Well, okay.
仮におじと聡子に会えたとします。
Let's say you did meet with Sadako and her uncle.
それで
Then what?
そして真意を聞きます。
Then I'd ask whether it was true.
その事実が確認できたなら指導します。
Once I got the facts, I'd go from there.
指導って曖昧な言い方はやめてください。
Please stop talking so vaguely.
具体的には何をするんですか？
What exactly would you do? Even despite my tone being so provocative, Chi-sensei bit back her emotions and listened calmly. I thought then that she was a good teacher. Chi-sensei really did have her students' best interests at heart. But she didn't have the power or the authority to save Sadako. She let her sense of justice run away with her. The situation could get more complex. Sensei folded her arms, and for a few moments she closed her eyes as though mentally concentrating. And when they opened again, there was a strictness in her eyes I'd never seen before.
児童福祉法という法律があります。
There's a law called the Child Welfare Law.
この法律で児童に対する虐待は何人に対しても認められていないことが明記されています。
It clearly states that abuse against children will not be allowed no matter who it is.
らしいですね。
So it would seem.
それで
Then what?
沖宮の生活相談所へ通報します。
I'd contact the Okinomiya Child Consultation Center.
さっき前原くんは追い返されると言いましたね。
You said just now that I would be turned away, didn't you?
この相談所の職員は必要に応じて警察官を同行させることができます。
Child welfare officers can bring the police with them if the situation demands.
恫喝には絶対に屈しません。
They will not submit to intimidation.
その福祉士というお役所の人は連絡して書類で申請して何日後に助けに来てくれるんです？
How many days would it take after you contact a social worker and submit the paperwork for her to be saved?
即日です。
It would be the same day.
彼らの仕事は児童の安全を緊急に保護することですから。
Their job is to guarantee the immediate safety of children.
知ってますよ。
I know that.
緊急性があると判断された場合ですよね。
That's if they decide there's an urgent need.
認められなかったら先生と同じ
If they didn't, then they'd do the same as you.
指導をして様子見をするんですよね。
They'd go from there. They'd just wait and see, right?
見てるだけ。
They'd just watch.
聡子のおじの機嫌を悪くして聡子をその場に残したままそれっきり。
It would make Sadako's uncle's mood sour, and Sadako would be stuck with him there.
ケイちゃん、ちょっと言い過ぎ。
Kei-chan, that's going a little too far.
嘘はついてないだろ。
I'm not lying, am I?
去年だか一昨年だかに児童相談所が来た時がまさにそうだったんだろう。
Last year, the year before, whatever. It's exactly what happened when the child welfare people came, isn't it?
その結果どうなった？
What happened then?
俺よりもミオンや先生の方がよっぽどよく知ってるだろうが。
You and Sensei would know about it a lot better than I would. I had said too much. I didn't need Mion to tell me that. I was talking crazy and itching for a fight. I was supposed to be telling her about the situation only after I was sure we could save Sadako, but I basically told her everything right from the start. Chi-sensei looked at the clock, stood up, and picked up the phone at the principal's seat.
もしもし、
Hello?
内線の3455をお願いします。
Put me through to extension 3455, please.
いいのケイちゃん。
Is this okay, Kei-chan?
本当に大丈夫かな。
Is this really okay? It was too late. The die had been cast. Now we could only pray.
お世話になっております。
Oh, thank you for answering my call.
ひなみ沢文庫教諭の千恵と申しますが、指導室の渡辺主事はいらっしゃいますでしょうか。
I'm Chi, a licensed teacher at the Hinamizawa branch school. Will Director Watanabe happen to be in the guidance office?
はい、ええ。
Yes, that's right.
ちょっと急用がございまして、至急校長と連絡が取りたいのですが。
Something urgent came up, so I'd like to contact the principal as soon as I can.
はい、
Yes,
お願いします。
thank you.
緊急とお伝えください。
Please tell him immediately.
よろしくお願いします。
Yes, thank you. The teacher put down the phone and tilted her head back and took a breath, like I always did.
二人にもう一度だけ聞きます。
I'll ask the two of you again.
クラスのみんなの噂はすべて本当なんですね。
Are the rumors going around class really true?
はい。
Yes.
俺は昨日貞子の家に行って実際にどういうことになっているのか見ました。
Yesterday I went to Sadako's house, and I saw for myself just how bad it really is.
あとは先生に任せてください。
You can leave the rest to me.
さとこちゃんはきっと先生が何とかします。
I'll definitely do something for Sadako-chan.
なんとか
Something?
いい加減なことを言わないでください。
Stop saying such ambiguous things.
なんとかじゃない。絶対でなければならない。
Not something. We have to save her.
もしもまた様子見なんてことになったら先生はどう責任を取るつもりですか。
They end up deciding to wait and see again. How do you plan on taking responsibility? While I was yelling, the phone rang. Chi-sensei snatched the receiver up first.
もしもし、
Hello?
研修中申し訳ありません。
Oh, I apologize for interrupting your training.
はい、
Yes.
実は例の北条さと子さんの件でお話が。
Actually, it's about the issue with Sadako Hojo-san.
はい、
Yes. Sensei waved us away, telling us we could leave now. Mion went to leave, but I held my ground. I had a responsibility to make sure she stopped saying such vague, ambiguous things. If it didn't look like she was going to say anything substantial, then I'd tell them the truth, even if I had to steal the phone from her.
はい。
Yes.
いえ、まだ相談所には。
No, I haven't contacted them yet.
はい。
Yes.
まだ確認はしていませんが、クラスのこの話では相当な様子です。
I haven't confirmed it, but it seems pretty bad from what the children are saying.
相当なんてもんじゃないぞ。
It's not just pretty bad.
すぐにだ。
Do something about it.
今すぐ何とかしろ。
Right now.
通報するならどこへだっていい。
If you're going to report it, then I don't care who you tell.
でもな、もしも様子見なんてことになってみろ。
I don't know how much longer you're planning to go on with the stream, but I hope you read the tips because we can't start the next stream with one of them. That's curious. I'll end the stream when we get to the tips, and I'll read the tips. We'll end the stream with them. But I swear, if they end up just watching and waiting and watching,
ただじゃ済まさないからな。
I will never forgive you. I yelled angrily at Sensei and the principal on the other end. I wanted to somehow, some way, convey to them just how dangerous her situation was right now.
それは分かっています。
I understand that.
ちゃんと伝えますから。
I will tell them as much.
委員長、前原君を連れて教室に戻りなさい。
Mion-kun, please take Mabara-kun back to the classroom.
あ、はい。
Yes, ma'am.
行くよケイちゃん。
Let's go, Kei-chan.
あとは先生たちに任せよう。
We should leave this to the teachers now.
絶対だぞ。
Better promise. So the very last moment I glared at Sensei. She, Sensei, was feeling pressured by the likes of me. Idiot, this isn't the time to feel pressured. Now's the time when you give me a firm nod to reassure me. Even so, we've already left things in our hands. At this point, we really can't do anything but pray. Bang. Mion shut the door to the teacher's lounge. Oh boy. Article and stats from the Ministry of Health and Welfare. Asked for help from a grown-up. What a good achievement. Let's read these and then we'll end off the stream. We'll be leaving a bit early, I guess, but whatever. It just is a good stopping point. Alright, article. Article 2, Definition of Child Abuse. The term child abuse means the following acts committed by a custodian. Meaning a person who exercises parental authority, a guardian of a minor, or other person who's currently engaged in the custody of a child. Hereinafter the same shall apply. Against a child, meaning a person who's under 18 years of age, hereinafter the same shall apply. 1. Assault the child in a manner that will cause or is likely to cause external injury on the body of a child. 2. Engage in indecency against the child or cause the child to engage in indecency. 3. Substantially reduce the amount of food for the child or abandon and neglect the child for a long period in a manner that may interfere with normal development of the child mentally or physically, or otherwise materially fail to perform the duty of a custodian. Or 4. Speak or behave in a manner that would be significantly traumatic to the child. Article 3. Prohibition of child abuse. No person shall abuse a child. Law number, Act number 82 of 2000. Authored by the Minister of Health and Welfare. Okay. Well, now we're going to end, with the statistics from the Ministry of Health and Welfare. I assume this is going to be a major bummer based on the fact that we can't start the next stream with this. So it must be just a real big bummer. Year 19 blank. Principal abusers, in cases reported to the Ministry of Health and Welfare. Oh, that's Sadako, by the way, for a new person in chat who's not been here. That's not what she normally looks like. That is her miserable sprite now that she's being abused. Total, 5,352. Mother by blood, 2,943, 55%. Mother not by blood, 203, 3.8%. Father by blood, 1,445, 27%. Father not by blood, 488, 9.1%. Year 19 blank. Instances by type of abuse, in cases reported to the Ministry of Health and Welfare. Total, 5,352. Physical abuse, 2,780, 51.9%. Neglect, abandonment of child, 1,728, 32.3%. Psychological abuse, 458, 8.6%. Forbidden from going to school, 75, 1.4%. Sexual violence, 311, 5.8%. Oh, I don't like that. That's fucked. Oh no! Oh no, that's definitely implying some things. Having the Sadako sprite up and having the music cut in on that last one. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Now I see why you said we can't start the next one with that. Oh no. Oh no. That's so fucking grim. That's so terrible. To have her sprite up and play some music on that last one, and then have her fade out like that. Oh no. We gotta save this kid. Oh man. Oh, that's. Oh my god. Fuck me. Well, we gotta save. We've never had a tip do that before. Ugh. Feeling like I got reading that was so indescribably awful and I have fucking goosebumps right now. No, I was feeling so much dread as like it was listing the types of abuses, and I was like, I know that there's going to be sexual abuse in here, and that number is probably gonna scare me. And then we get to it, and then it plays the music, and I'm like, oh no, I know what that's saying. Fuck. No, you can really see uh just how much the awfulness is picked up this chapter because of the author's experience as a social worker. Like that this chapter just is not afraid to tackle how fucking awful these sort of situations are. Fuck me. Yeah, we're gonna end off there. What a oh my god. Shout out to the person in chat who's I think this is their first stream, and so they are this is their introduction to the game. I had a feeling, that it was gonna go there, right? I just had a feeling because of just kind of the impression I got from Sadako's uncle is I was like, oh god, like we can tell he's violent and all of that, but like, yeah, you get a shout out. Uh, like we knew he was at the very least violent and like he did a lot of psychological trauma. Had no clue what the last part meant. So it was listing there, the types of abuses, stats of like the types of abuses the kids go through that are reported, and it ended with the sexual abuse there, and it plays that little snippet of music, and it's definitely meant to imply that Sadako, that character there, who I think is canonically like 10, 11, is being is a victim of sexual abuse from her uncle. Like that's kind of the implication there. Um, I had a feeling it was gonna go there. Because when this game pulls no punches, it's evil. Um, and just with how much I knew Jaden, I know how much you hate fucking Sadako's uncle, and you said how terrible he is. I was like, it would make enough sense if he was violent, but God, like if it goes there, that would check out with what with how much you seem to hate that guy. So, yeah, I had a feeling, and it was just a confirmation of my dread. Especially as we were reading the tip, I was like, it's gonna go there, isn't it? So, I mean, this chapter is easily the most emotionally wrecking so far, and we're not even into the horror game aspect yet of the chapter, because, typically shit starts to go down after the festival in the previous two chapters, and the chapter is still like another 2 in-game days away. So, we haven't even gotten to like the part of the game where the horrors begin. Usually it's pretty, I feel sick. Yeah, no kidding. It's bad. Normally, we get mostly nice slice of life with maybe some emotional moments, some character moments. Um, and then like shit hits the fan after the festival, but we're getting hit in the gut before the festival. Like the scary stuff hasn't even started happening yet. So, oh boy, is bad. God save this poor kid. We're gonna end it there though. Uh, I'm thinking that because I still don't have GTA 4 working yet, I might stream Higurashi on Wednesday. On Wednesday. So we're gonna get Higurashi again Wednesday and not something else. I've just been straight up not streaming on Wednesdays lately when I've been meaning to. Um, but I think we're just gonna do Higurashi on Wednesday because it's a long game. We need to get through it. GTA 4 is not ready yet. Partly in because I've been kind of slacking on getting it up and running. But also that game just seems to be very sensitive to my poking and prodding of mods. So it's gonna uh probably take a bit longer because every time I try to mess with it, I end up breaking it and I have to restore a backup and try again, which isn't troublesome, but it's annoying, right? To like be trying to mess with the game and then it breaks on you and you're like, well, oh shit, now I gotta go and replace the files. Like, it's not hard, but it's just frustrating and it makes me not want to work on it. So, uh, I also have an art commission I have to work on. So, that's something I'll probably be working on. Not tonight, or even tomorrow, but soon. Soon. I need to work on that. But yeah, that'll be it for tonight, I suppose. I'll see you all on Wednesday. We'll do more Higurashi. It's probably gonna be just as depressing. Sorry. And hopefully we can get through these horrific times. I'll need that one CG of Takano for the thumbnail. I think what I'm gonna do. Wait, cool, you do art? Yes, I do. I have some drawing streams that I've done. The art in those I'm not particularly proud of because it's art that I'm trying to do in the span of like an hour or two for the purpose of I do typically requests during the stream of what to draw. So it's not my best work, but I do draw. It's what I'm in school for. I've been thinking of opening up commissions. I need to make like a proper art account somewhere and whatnot because I don't have one. Cool, I'll be tuning back in. Looking forward to it. But I need to make a proper art account and start taking commissions and stuff. Just as like I mean, it's a little bit of money, right? That's helpful. And it gets me to draw more, which is honestly what I care more about, is it gives me a good reason to draw and to practice drawing more. I did a character reference sheet um, for a friend somewhat recently, and he's asked me again to make an icon for him. So I'm going to be doing that. I don't know when the next drawing stream will be. I'm also in school for art. Nice, that's cool. I'm I'm on break right now. I actually go back to class pretty soon, but I'm going into my last year of school. So, are you a furry? You got me. Yes, I am. I've played coy with furry allegations for years. Whenever someone asks me, I'd be like, I don't know. Who knows? I just admit it at this point. Maybe I can pull up a piece of art real quick that I've done that I actually like. Well, yay, me too. Let me see if I can grab an image of some art I did. I could just show you the reference sheet I made. Here it is. Oh, that's big. It's really big. Give me a sec. Because it's a really big image. Oh, I squashed it. Well, that's fine. It's going to be a little squashed. I did, like, my friend has, like, a cyberpunk OC. So I did a ref sheet. You can see. I've got a cartoonier style. So I like to draw cartoons. But there it is. I think it got a little squashed when I was pulling it out. That's probably a bit more accurate. But I drew this for a friend. I had to draw these tattoos. Fire, dude. Thanks. Yeah, so the little ref sheet for him. I'd never drawn cyberpunk stuff before, so it was a fun exercise. I'd also never had to draw this many tattoos before, and I don't typically draw characters with tattoos because it's a pain in the ass. At least the chest tattoo was simple, because with those, it was just I kind of drew it separate, and then you can kind of distortion warp tool kind of make it look like it's on the chest a bit easier. These arm tattoos, though, there's kind of no way around it, so I had to draw those and the leg tattoo manually. But I'm okay with how this turned out. Could be better, could be worse. He wants me to do an icon for him, though, of the character, I believe. So I'll be working on that sometime this week. I'm going to be spending most of my time off stream playing Persona 5 Royal, because I've needed to. I've had Royal in my library for a while, and I've had it, I started it, and then I never beat it. And so I need to finally do it. Because I've heard so much about how good the, like, new semester in Royal is, and I'm like, fine, I'll get to it. Those tattoos seem complicated, but they turned out great. Thanks! No, I appreciate that. They were a pain in the ass. That's why I felt bad the commission took a while to do. Because it's like, you also probably couldn't see in the image super well, because, I mean, they're a minor detail, but the character also has, like, scars and piercings and stuff, so I had to do all those. Why don't you stream that? I've been thinking about doing streaming Royal. If I do with Royal, the thing about Royal is, one, I've already played base Persona 5 before, so it's going to be a lot of stuff that, like, I've already seen. But I've still considered streaming it anyway. If I do, it'll be less of a full, like, what's the word? Like, let's play, walkthrough. Like, there'll be bits I won't stream, because I've already committed to a very long game here with Higurashi, because Higurashi is going to be a series, like, at the rate that I stream, I'm probably going to be doing for another year. Um, which I don't mind. Higurashi's great. but it means that like that slot in my stream schedule, because I don't stream much, um, it means that that's time taken up from doing other games. And so I don't want to be stuck doing two 100-hour games uh simultaneously, because then it's like that's all I will be able to stream for like at least a year. But with Royal, my thought has been I will stream it when I play it. I'm gonna start probably a new game, and I'll stream it, but like I'll play off screen and I'll just stream it on particular like streaming days. I typically, when I'm not in school, I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday. When I get back to school, Higurashi 100 hours, something like that. It's long. Uh, we're gonna be in the Higurashi journey for like a year. Hop on board. We're gonna be here a while. My friend in chat, Bone Jam, he calculated based on how much of the game was left that like we have, I think like 40, 50 more streams left, which will take like about a year unless I blitz through it like in a marathon or something, which I don't see happening. Higurashi's long. So, uh, yeah, it's going to be a very ongoing series. So Royal might be the kind of thing that I stream less uh committally. Isn't that the right way to say that? Where I stream it and like I play, but like I play it off uh screen. So it won't be everything. Maybe when I get to the new semester stuff, I'll stream it more consistently. I don't know. Because that's like the new content that I don't know. So maybe logging my reactions to that new stuff could be cool. But yeah, it's probably the kind of thing of just because of Persona 5 is like a 100-hour game already, and then Royal has more stuff. Streaming it consistently where I play the game for like 2.5 hours, and then I have to wait to play it for like another half a week or a week. Especially when I get back to school, I will be streaming only twice a week. One day will be for Higurashi, one day will be for something else, which means minimum I play 2.5 hours of Persona 5 Royal every week. It will take me, I'll be 80 by the time I finish the damn game. So it might be best to kind of stream it, but like I get to play off screen. And if I get to new content, I'll like stream it. Also, the idea of like I keep my schedule, right? Like my normal stream schedule of Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, where those are more like, I guess, regular type streams, fixed schedule, 2.5 hours, uh, more put together like this. I say put together like it's really put together at all, but you know what I mean. And then like I can also just whenever I happen to be playing Royal in my free time, I can kind of have a more chill stream where I'm just playing that, maybe just kind of chilling. I don't know. I've been thinking about it. So, IDK. But I'll think about it. And I'm also open to suggestions about how to go about streaming Royal, because I would like to stream it, but it's difficult. But I'll take suggestions for it. But that's going to be it for tonight. We've reached the 2 hour and 20 minute mark, so it's about time to finish off. I said I was going to stream the game longer since we got a late start tonight. We started at like 15 minutes later than normal, but we ended up getting to a good stopping point, so whatever. So the stream was a bit shorter gameplay wise. But that's going to be it for tonight. I'll see you all on Wednesday, and good night.